that every day people across Spain, usually from their balconies, this is the first time we've had this vantage point, they get up and they clap for healthcare workers, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. You can see the healthcare workers themselves, you can see the patients from their beds, really saluting the doctors and nurses on the front line of this. It's actually quite a touching moment to see, especially considering just the volume of patients that are in this country. My producer, Laura Perez Maestro, says that that's the Spanish anthem that's playing in the background there. Not sure if how well you can hear it, but obviously you can see the applause here. If you haven't been following the situation here, okay, you can hear it much better right now. If you haven't been following the situation in Spain, well, it's not a great one. This country has had more confirmed cases than China, where this entire outbreak began. This country has had twice as many deaths from the coronavirus, at least according to the official numbers. And so right now they have been using not only hospitals to capacity, they've also been using hotels as hospital wards, and they've been using this convention center as well as a hospital ward for the more mild cases of the coronavirus. So right now, at their maximum, since this outbreak began, they've seen about 1,500 patients. 500 plus have been released from this area. And right now, they estimate that they have about 850 patients right now. There's not only this pavilion, but there's other areas of this convention center as well where people are being treated. This particular spot has been a bit of a source of contention in Spain, and that's because one of the biggest unions here actually came out just in recent days and said that the situation here, despite the fact that there was plenty of space, they said, look, there often hasn't been enough of it, that the changing rooms for employees where they've been able to get into their protective equipment has been too cramped. People haven't been able to keep enough space from one another. And they've also said that protective equipment more broadly has been rather difficult to come by. From what we've seen here today, and perhaps this is why the government was allowing us to come in here today, is that the situation has vastly improved. The healthcare workers that we've spoken to say that there's a big improvement. They have the protective equipment that they need. There is not the chaos that this union was describing before, and even the director who we spoke to as well said that it's a learning experience. Obviously, a convention center is not supposed to be used as a hospital, and so they had to learn as they went. Let me just see what kinds of questions we have here from Facebook. Gabe asks, when did this makeshift hospital open? Good question. So this one, I believe, I'll just fact check with my producer here, but it opened relatively quickly. Not long after the initial stay-at-home order was actually given did this place open. They sent out pictures of it, being prepared, things like that.
2 weeks.
Laura says it's been open for 2 weeks now. So the stay-at-home order was given just slightly more than 2 weeks ago. So just after that's when they first started taking patients. At first it was just 100, then 200. Now obviously they've got a lot more than that. So they've sort of gradually built out their capacity. How many require ventilators? That's a great question. I don't have an exact figure, but what I can tell you from some of the doctors that we've spoken to at other hospitals, which are obviously treating the much more severe patients,